just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark. Even got that homebrew flowing.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Tonight, multi-million-dollar heroin case draws to a close. Hardware stores under scrutiny for irresponsible sale of harmful chemicals. And literacy begins at home, says Education Minister. A student was attacked and murdered in Naria Rakiraki this afternoon. FBC News has confirmed that the teenager is dead and her father has been injured, while the suspect is on the run. Police spokesperson Ananai Soro confirms this, saying an investigation is underway. Details are sketchy, but we understand the attack occurred as the victim got off the bus. The Ethan Kai and Mohammed Shahid Khan illicit drugs case has reached the end of the trial today, with Judge Justice Tushara Rajasinghe giving his summation. The High Court case was called in Nandi as the four assessors revisited the facts of the case compiled in the 6-week trial. Madhyam Bolaitamana was in court and filed this report.
Judge Justice Tushara Rajasinghe took a little over 3 hours to articulate his 100-page summation to the assessors in Nandi today. The special sitting was called in the Nandi Magistrates Court as the Lautoka High Court has been facing electrical faults over the past few days. After his summation, the four assessors, 2 men and 2 women, were then excused from the courtroom. This to give the prosecution and the defense the opportunity to redirect certain facts in Justice Rajasinghe's summation. For the defense, Ethan Kai's lead counsel, John Peluso, asked if Justice Rajasinghe could clarify and emphasize on certain areas of their concerns to the assessors. At 3:15 this afternoon, the assessors were called back into the courtroom and the clarifications as such. The assessors were then excused from the courtroom to delve on the summation provided to them and come with a verdict. Khan and Kai are being charged with the illegal importation of illicit drugs, namely heroin, worth $30 million. The pair have been remanded in custody at the Natambo Corrections Facility since December last year. If convicted, both face up to 10 years imprisonment. Madhyam Bolaitamana, FBC News.
And news just to hand, the assessors have just returned their verdict. 2 have found Khan not guilty, while the other 2 assessors have found him guilty. All 4 assessors have found Kai guilty of the charges. Khan and Kai will be sentenced tomorrow afternoon. The Consumer Council of Fiji is calling on traders and retailers to be more responsible and not sell hazardous and harmful substances to minors. The call comes amidst reports of 3 primary school students dying of self-inflicted injuries. Hardware stores have come under scrutiny for not being diligent and selling harmful chemicals to minors after 3 students died of self-inflicted injuries. Consumer Council Chief Executive Pramila Kumar says in many instances, a consumer's right to safety is being overlooked.
And in this particular case with paraquat is such a hazardous chemical, and it is sold to anyone. And the worst is it was sold to children. And there was my major concern is the person who picked up that bottle and gave it to the 3 kids. Did it not cross his mind why these 3 children were asking for a paraquat?
Kumar says business practices are crucial as retailers are in a position to curb misuse of any product by not selling to children in the first place.
We are definitely very concerned because we look at child consumerism and we take child as a consumer very seriously at the council. And children, they have the right to purchase whatever they want, but of course the responsibility is on the trader in terms of what they should be selling to the children and what they should not be selling to the children. Because children cannot have access to whatever they want to buy.
The Council believes that traders should be a key target group in policies or laws and regulations intended to curb the misuse and abuse of volatile substances. Developing arts and culture is an area that the Ministry of Education plans to improve. Launching celebrations for World Literacy Day at Sakuna Park in Suva this morning, Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says this has been lacking in Fiji. Ellen Stahls reports.
Reading, according to Dr. Mahendra Reddy, is the most important component in building a literate society.
Very small amount of resources in terms of establishing art galleries and giving opportunities to people to bring in and display their art and craft materials. We will do that. Over the next 4 years, we in the ministry are determined to give much more resources, thinking and time towards developing the heritage and art component.
Dr. Reddy says this will soon change as the ministry pumps in more resources into developing the art component of education. He adds there is a grave need for parents to be more involved at an early age, even if it means reading children's books every evening, because literacy essentially begins at home.
If we want to have a generation which is literate, if we want to deliver onto a society where decisions are made based on logic, reasoning, and have a scientific basis, then that knowledge-based society will be delivered through having a literate community.
Patron of Read to Lead Fiji, Mary Mbainimarama, handed over a set of books for 732 primary schools. The reading materials, called the Book Box, are designed to help students aged 5 to 10 to master the English language. Nairukuruku District School in Naitasiri is one of the recipients.
It will help us to go back to our school and upgrade the standard of our school at the moment.
The theme for this year's World Literacy Day is Literacy and Sustainable Societies. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
The Ministry of Social Welfare has revealed that there are many mentally ill people living on the streets, and it is a worrying trend. Minister for Social Welfare Rosie Akbar says they are currently looking at ways to overcome the problem.
The Ministry of Social Welfare has stated that the number of people on the streets has decreased, but what is of concern though is that most of them are mentally challenged.
Every day there's a new face on the street, and we try to find out why. That's the first thing, we need to find out why. If somebody says he or she is homeless, we try to trace the family back and look at the reason why this person has suddenly become homeless. And to do that, what we did is we took our early morning round 3 weeks ago on the streets, the capital streets, and we found out that those who were on the streets were mostly mentally challenged.
Akbar says the ministry is working with St. Giles Hospital to address the matter. Some of the people who have recovered are being accommodated at a home in Dolo Suva that is assisted by the ministry. The ministry is also trying to reduce the number of homeless people living on the streets.
Beggars and homeless combined is 79, close to 79. It's beggars and homeless. Total homeless I would not be able to do, but it's not a very big figure. Because when we walked around the capital streets that morning, it was about 5 o'clock, they were close to 12. And most of them were mentally challenged. And we had a few who just sleep on the streets because they're intoxicated.
Some members of the public we spoke to believe it's everyone's responsibility to take care of homeless people.
I think the family members are responsible for their elders.
I think the most important is the family, for them to come and look after them. If they are in town, then that means they've got no family. So I think everybody got a family.
To my opinion, the homeless people, the responsibility is partly coming from the family, and the community and the government also responsible.
While the ministry is doing its best to address the issue, Akbar is urging the public to take care of family members. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
In the news ahead, agriculture show gets off to a good start in Nausori.
Ya bina pwede mwanto kwa chuma ini mwasi kwa kwena bula FM nambang duwe na siri na ngona nindende manda kay Central Rental sa pobe kanya rusun ko vitra minichi me ba na koloko. Ni sa bula.
Oya wa wati soni dalai.
Gua nga ya mwasi dono.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kina bitu. Ena via kabi, moliti kina kwa rombuka.
Gua ria na lali ne kami. Bula FM nambang duwa ya na siri.
A 4-year-old boy was trapped inside a van after an accident at Samumbula in Suva at around 6:30 this morning. Eyewitnesses say the child had sustained serious injuries and that the vehicle had apparently lost its brakes, tumbling into a ditch. These pictures were sent to us through Citizens' Eyes at fbc.com.fj. An Ithauke version of the National Climate Change Policy is now available publicly. While launching the document in Levuka last night, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama said it is a welcome step in spreading the message about climate change to every community. Bainimarama has urged all Fijians to read the policy.
We'll give you some idea of the impact it is having and will continue to have on the way we live. You will understand what is causing the world to warm up, the ice caps to melt, and why the seas are rising. And you will learn what we are doing as a nation to deal with the swamping of our coastal areas, as well as what we are doing to confront the extreme weather events, the storms and the droughts that are accompanying climate change.
The National Climate Change Policy was launched in 2011. 8 schools in Namosi now have the chance to learn the basics of computing after being given 30 handheld electronic devices or tablets by the Ministry of Education. The tablets were donated by the Indian government to assist rural and maritime schools. Ali Kimbia has more.
A proud moment for these students, now able to learn basic software and access information via the internet.
Today, what we see is a culmination of the support that has resulted in the supply of 5,000 tablets to help us boost students' learning environment. It's a major IT revolution throughout the world, and we need to keep up with this revolution.
While handing over the tablets, Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says other schools will also be receiving the same.
We're looking at over 200 schools receiving the tablets, where students will take tests. Each class will have a IT hour where the tablets will be given to the children, and they will work on it.
Fiji's High Commissioner to India Yogesh Karan says the assistance should encourage the students to strive for a better future.
So you are our future. We have a lot of expectations from you, dear students, and of course teachers. You are very, very important to us, and parents. This three-legged stool, we need to work very hard together to make a brighter Fiji.
As more students have access to technology like tablets from the Ministry of Education, it brings to life the government's vision to create a more knowledgeable society. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Striving to collaborate regional efforts to deliver results that make a practical and positive difference to the lives of the Pacific people. These were the words of Secretary General Dame Meg Taylor while opening the 46th Pacific Islands Forum Leaders Summit in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. Maggie Boyle with this report.
Highlighting the forum's commitment to a new Pacific regionalism, Secretary General of the Pacific Islands Forum, Dame Meg Taylor, reiterated her stance for a more inclusive regional institution. The SG says the framework for Pacific regionalism represents a different way of doing business that sets out an ongoing commitment to inclusive regional public policy development. This was evident with the first ever meeting between representatives of civil society and the forum leaders yesterday morning, which included the past, present and future chairpersons of the Pacific Forum. Dame Taylor conceded that over the years regionalism had its significance, but the politics of issues that were paramount to the direction of the Pacific were lost. She says as multifaceted and complex as the issues are for the forum, they can be resolved if member countries, regional and international organizations, the private sector and civil society work together to advance the region's new priorities. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
We turn to sports now, and Charlie is here with the very latest.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening. In sports, after the break, we get the latest about the Flying Fijians and 7 stars to promote golf tournament. This and more coming up after the break.
छू छू छू। हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक, आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू छू छू। 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक, मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची, इट्स हॉट।
The Vodafone Flying Fijians side held a scrimmaging session with their Georgian counterparts as the countdown to the Rugby World Cup continues. The focus for coach John McKee was the forwards as his side ready themselves for the opener against England on Saturday week. Rohit Dale with the details.
The Vodafone Flying Fijians had a fruitful session with the Georgians this morning. Both the forwards and backline tested their skills against the Europeans, and McKee was pleased with the outcome.
Forwards undertook a grueling 50-minute session against the Georgian forwards involved in scrummaging and line-outs, and particularly for us working on the line-out maul and defending the line-out maul. At the same time, the backs worked with the Georgia backs on their set plays and defence off set-piece moves.
The side also had a team-building exercise at the Army Training Regiment in Purbright.
We did some team building there this afternoon, which had two purposes. One, it was a bit of fun for the players and you know, a change of environment to lighten the load up after a week's heavy rugby training and the game on Sunday. But also it was to develop some, you know, leadership.
McKee is thankful for the overwhelming support they've been getting in England.
The British Army and their rugby club have been extremely helpful to us in our camp and very hospitable and you know, providing all their facilities to us and team rooms over at their headquarters, and also, you know, providing catering for our lunches on camp each day.
Flying Fijians will be welcome to the World Cup tomorrow night at the Hampton Court Palace. Fiji plays England on the 19th of September at 7 a.m. You can watch the entire World Cup live on FBCtv. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
While the Flying Fijians are busy preparing in England, support continues to grow at home. Speaking at a press conference today, Fiji Rugby Union CEO Randrondo Tambo-Lebu says the players have achieved so much with so little, and this will be the only motivation they need to take on the big guns in their pool.
The players have been urged not to get ahead of themselves and be distracted by the hype surrounding the opening match against England.
Confirmed that they were happy that they've had that game against Canada, allowed them to have a run and get the boys into the mind, into the mode of playing.
Fiji 7 skipper Osea Kolinisau has put all his money on the national team to pull through the group stages.
Fiji have a very good chance. Obviously, it's a World Cup. Any team would like to win a World Cup. It's a different ball game. So if we play to our strengths, we have a fair chance of coming out of the pool of death, as so they say. So I think Fiji has a really good chance of making it to the quarterfinals and beyond that.
Fiji 7 stars Osea Kolinisau and Emosi Muleporo have signed on to be ambassadors for the Fiji International Golf Tournament in Singatoka next month. The Fiji Rugby Union and Fiji International have joined forces to promote the high-profile event. Kolinisau and Muleporo will be making public appearances during the tournament week and test their golfing skills on the pristine Natandola Bay Championship course in Singatoka.
And I think we can look forward to them actually being in the Pro-Am, which will be interesting, and it'll be a great story to tell. So there's going to be a lot of linkages between rugby and golf coming up in the next few weeks. It's only 6 weeks away to the Fiji International, October the 15th to the 18th.
We are excited about being part of this endeavor to grow the sport in Fiji. We are mindful also of the international reach that this will bring the Fiji Rugby Union. That is in keeping with our own aspirations, because we certainly want to get out there to the rest of the world.
The Fiji International will be held on October 15th to the 18th in Singatoka and offers a prize money of $1 million. Team Fiji weightlifter Eileen Vikamatana scooped gold in the 63 kg weight category at the Commonwealth Youth Games in Samoa. The 15-year-old Obalau lass was part of the Oceania Talent Identification Program in New Caledonia. In swimming, Epeli Rambua and Eugene Kado are through to the 50 meters breaststroke A and B finals respectively later this evening.
Sevens rugby kicked off today with the women's side thrashing Samoa 46-5, while the men's side took on Cayman Islands this afternoon. Fiji has won 2 gold medals and a silver at the Games so far, with all 3 medals coming from weightlifting. The Westwood Boxing Promotion announced its wildcard entry bout today. Napoleon Taumapia will take on Zephaniah Vakadengu in a heavyweight bout on the night of the promotion. The promoters are hopeful that the inclusion of this fight will add more spice to the program.
I'm sure most of the boxing fans have been waiting for the heavyweight bout, because most of our majority fights are in welterweight, lightweight, but there are a lot of fans who have been following heavyweight fights for last 20 years, and they are all happy and excited about our wildcard entry.
The promotion will be held at Nandi's Prince Charles Park on the 26th of this month. And that was sports. It's back to Jackie now for business.
As agriculture sector grows, Minister for Trade Fayaz Koya has called for sustainable management of land to secure a long-term viable future. He made the comments while opening the 2015 Central Agriculture Show. Julie Vatwaliwali with this report.
Livestock, vegetables and value-added products and a range of healthy alternatives, all produced here and all of the best quality. Hundreds of people gathered at the Syria Park in Nosori, farmers showing off their hard work while they knew there were good deals to be made.
The demand for organic fruits and vegetables is increasing as the global consumers are getting more health and environment conscious. Therefore, we are working on developing criteria for Fijian produce to be licensed as Fijian organic.
Trade Minister Fayaz Koya says the government has identified ways to export agriculture products and give farmers more marketing opportunities. Research Officer Agronomy Caroline Navukimboro says the show promotes the use of different crops.
One of our main activities is to conserve our local varieties that we have for future use and also for times of natural disasters.
The show has attracted a large crowd, some coming from remote locations to learn new skills.
To me, what this show means is for us to come and learn everything that one needs to know about harvesting and to go back to share the knowledge with other family members in order to sustain our environment for the future generations.
Students from around the Nosori area were also encouraged to attend the show.
We can have fresh fruits, fresh foods. Not to buy, like we get fresh foods from our garden.
The Central Agriculture Show with the theme Sustain Our Soil, Nourish Our Nation, Reaffirm Our Future will end on Friday. Julie Vatwaliwali, FBC News.
Mainly fine and cool weather was experienced over most parts of the country today. A high-pressure system to the far south of Fiji directs a cool south to southeast wind flow over most southwest Pacific Island countries. Temperatures range between 26 and 31 degrees around the country. Lambasa was the hottest this afternoon at 31 degrees. There's no major change expected tomorrow, with the fine weather likely to continue over the next 24 hours. The further outlook is for southeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas, moderate southerly swells. The main points again: a $30 million drug smuggling case comes to a close. 75 people now charged and in custody in relation to sedition charges. And hardware stores come under scrutiny for lack of oversight in the sale of harmful chemicals. Time for our poll question this week. We're asking, is enough being done to prevent suicides in the country? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You can also find us on YouTube and watch all our replays at Fbctv 2011. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Bye for now.